Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And unfortunately, this is not a happy occasion.
No.
On December 22nd, Christine Cavanaugh, the voice actress known to the world as Chuckie Finster, as Dexter, as Babe the Pig, as Gosalyn, and a host of other iconic characters, passed away from unknown causes. This is a tough one to swallow, BlueDragonFive. This is really tough.
Oh yeah, I was shocked when I heard the news.
Yeah, this year has not been kind to celebrities, or just really. It's been a tough year for celebrity deaths because we've had Philip Seymour Hoffman, which was just a tremendous loss of talent. We had Robin Williams, which was just a loss on a personal level.
Two huge names in animation for me passed away that year, and oh my god, it almost crushed me. It was Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. and Bob Hastings. Those two hit me out of nowhere, and they really crushed me. How sad a loss that was for both of them. They were the best.
One of them was Gordon from the animated series,
and
right?
Alfred.
Okay, gotcha.
So again, two of the best performances from that show passing away like that. They had long lives. My God, they touched so many lives with their performance. The point is, it's been a really sad year. All the passings and the loss of that year, and of course. The cruel twist of fate is that before the year ended, another one was taken from us, and that was the wonderful one. The one that pretty much touched all of our nostalgic hearts, Christine Cavanaugh.
Yeah, this one isn't so much a household name as much as it is like everyone freaking grew up with her, and as soon as you hear the voice, you know exactly who she is.
This is what I like to call a discovery name.
Right, exactly, yeah.
It's like one of those names, whenever someone passes away and you hear well, who is that? Then you discover who they are from the work they've done. That's more of a discovery.
Exactly, yeah. So, she only worked just over a decade in the voice acting industry.
Yes, from late 80s to 2001, she retired. It was kind of for mysterious reasons, except for she just wanted to be with her family, and from what I could tell, she was really private, because you really didn't hear almost anything about her after she retired.
No, she was never on social media or anything like that.
I don't think she even did conventions or anything. I don't think so, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the one that the voice actress that replaced her was Nancy Cartwright, Bart Simpson.
Right, sure.
At least for a lot of her roles, she took over for a lot of them.
So she left before the Rugrats had ended their run.
Oh no. Rugrats had been around for basically it was before the. I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. Before the Rugrats ended their run, yes. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
I thought you said something else. Yeah,
No. Okay. Let's see. Did she leave was she around for Rugrats Go Wild? Do you know?
Well, again,
I don't think she did.
It's 2001.
I don't think she was in Rugrats Go Wild.
Yeah, Rugrats Go Wild was in 2003. I'm just saying
2001. Right. Okay, yeah. So
her cutoff,
so
she
Rugrats
did.
in Paris was probably one of the last ones she did.
She did All Grown Up, I think. I don't know how much of All Grown Up she did, but she did a little bit of it. And she did Paris, yes, but
Okay.
In 2001 was the cutoff for her. So she didn't do the revamp. Right. She did not do any of the revamp for Dexter.
Oh God! Well, that's probably something that she was proud of on a personal level.
Yes. Also, another role that another role would be Oblina from Real Monsters. Kind of glazed over that one.
Yeah, another classic. Do you want to just kind of go through her voiceography and kind of just highlight them all and maybe or what do you think? How do you want to approach this?
Sure.
You said do you want to talk about the big three and just go from there?
Yeah, well, let's start with the big three. Kind of make some again, mind you, these characters are really kind of what defined a generation from her voice. I think we should make some statements on the characters she brought to life a little bit going down the list. So let's start with the three and work from there. It's kind of the reaction to those characters. So first of all, let's start with one of my favorite Rugrat from the Rugrats, Chuckie Finster.
Chuckie was definitely. He
was a big favorite.
It's just one of those things that everyone grew up with. Not gonna say it was my favorite character. I was more into Phil and Lil, but no, but yeah, definitely a very endearing character, very endearing voice. Everything she does, the giggle that she has for Chuckie is something that would resonate throughout her entire career.
Oh yeah, Chucky was always my favorite Rugrat. And he was, I love that he was kind of the realist of the of the babies. You know, he was neurotic, yet pragmatic. He was really unique. You know, the design, and everything about him, and of course, like all those the voice quirks that she brought to the role. And the thing I love most about Chucky, and she really brought to life here, was that he always had this moral compass. Like this, he overcame his fears. The Rugrat, the most interesting stuff in my opinion, because his polar opposite was Tommy, who wasn't afraid of anything. Yet Chucky was the actual baby, because we've seen many of us at some point have always been afraid of things, and he's the most kind of endearing, and like we could always relate to Chucky. But overcoming his fear, we always root for Chucky, and he's the most loyal friend to Tommy despite his fears, and that was always a reason to love Chucky. And then she made you fall in love with the kid, like how realistic a kid that sounded. Like he was the George Costanza of the Rugrats, and you loved him.
I definitely feel like the writers kind of went out of their way to give him more of a character arc than maybe some of the other Rugrats got. What with he was the only character that got top billing in a Rugrats movie besides Tommy, because he was the main character for all intents and purposes in Rugrats in Paris.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, he is technically the oldest of the Rugrats, you know, aside from Angelica, because that was the thing. Like, there was always an interesting counterpoint that he was the oldest, so Angelica always kind of gravitated towards Chucky for her schemes of, like, I need someone who's close to my age here. Oh, Chucky, he's an easy patsy I can use for whatever scheme I got hooked up here.
Right. Also, the dynamic of Tommy being younger but a lot braver always was fun.
Yes, and I always just loved he's also the tallest of them, too, so they always use him for his height, too. And the fact that he was actually, mind you, Chucky was the first one to speak, too.
Oh, yeah, very, very iconically in Rugrats in Paris.
No! But yeah, Chucky's always been great, always a favorite. I think overall, again, Tommy's a real big popular one. I think Chucky's always the most visually distinct of the Rugrats.
No, I definitely think so, especially mostly because most of the rest of the Rugrats kind of had that bald thing going on. I mean, Phil and Lil have hair, but they have that weird little wisp of hair at the top of their head. So Chucky being the only one with a full head of hair, I think by default makes him the most pleasant looking character design.
Yep.
Anything else to say about him?
Nah, not really. I think we said enough on Chucky, unless you got anything else to add.
No, I'm pretty much. Yeah, that's, I mean, you touched on something that I kind of like, which is how Chucky kind of represented childhood fears. And, yeah, for me, that was definitely it. The episode that I talk about over and over again, probably my favorite episode of the Rugrats, is the Stu is a Robot episode. I love that episode for the atmosphere it represents, for the, just how it plays with childhood and, your imagination getting the best of you and everything like that. So just, really interesting kind of hills and valleys that they took this character through.
Yeah.
So, okay, moving on.
However, one thing just to be fair, I never really cared for the potty training runner with that. I think they milked it for too much.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I get it. Okay, you do what they had one episode about. Okay, drop it. But then they kept revisiting it for
exactly. It kind of became like the running gag of this character, and then it was just kind of so he's just gonna have a bunch of potty humor.
Yes, but I did love how
kind of degraded his character a little bit.
To be fair, they didn't revisit it constantly, but when they kept bringing it back, though, it was like, come on, you got over the.
I do feel like I remember they did kind of mention it quite a bit, and it did kind of get annoying.
That's what I'm saying. However, I did like the idea he feared clowns.
Well, of course, who doesn't?
And I love this. That one episode, he's hitting the inflatable clown because it's him conquering his fear almost sadistically. It's just he's punching the clown that he borrowed from Tommy. He won't give it back because he loves punching it too much.
Right.
Anyway. Okay, so let's go to the character debatably is even more popular than Chucky. I mean, this character is a huge one. I mean, we all love this character. Heck, this character is so iconic, so ingrained in the lexicon. Whenever we hear his name, we have to remind ourselves, oh, it's Lab and not just the regular name of another really demented version.
Right, because whenever I hear the name, I think da 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 da.
Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's stop beating around the bush. It's Dexter from Dexter's Lab.
Dee Dee, stay out of my laboratory.
Oh my god, Dexter was always a favorite.
Of course. I mean, and this just went to show how much range she really had in the short career she did. Because I got to admit, some of the voices she did, some of the roles she did, she kind of copied a lot of stuff off of Chuckie. I kind of feel like Chuckie was more her natural voice. Like I said, I kind of feel like the laugh that she did for Chuckie kind of like carried over to a lot of her other characters. Dexter is by far the most distinct, like, you cannot tell that is Chuckie Finster doing that voice.
Exactly. And it's such a funny idea. First of all, Dexter is a really cool character. He's just he advocates science. You know, I love the design of this character. And of course, it's
almost kind of like a Brad Bird-esque design.
Yes, it looks a lot like a Brad. It's like all the caricatures they do of Brad Bird, pretty much.
Oh, right, yeah.
Again, she played with dialects a lot, and the idea is that we and I were kind of talking about is like she kind of mixed dialects. It was like almost indistinguishable. They have like hints of this, and they have like a Germanish accent.
It's almost kind of like, I want to say it's almost kind of like a more classy Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, it's
like, wait, what is that?
Yeah,
what is that accent?
It's like, I think it's kind of a mixture of German, a bit of Russian, and a bit of Italian, kind of mixed in a plot there.
It's got a little bit of Yiddish in there.
Yeah, a bit of Yiddish too.
Yeah, and then, you know, just the character itself, of course. It's just Dexter's Lab. Let's see, was that the first cartoon?
Well,
I'm
not sure, but I can tell you this one. This was one of the ones that definitely put Cartoon Network on the map.
Exactly, right.
First of all, just the color scheme, I think, is really... It's the black and white of Cartoon Network itself, plus some purple and the red hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. For a while, he really was kind of like the icon of Cartoon Network. I think all the way up until the Powerpuff Girls came along, and that they kind of like took over that mantle for a while.
I'll make the statement here. You can't count on my fingers like the distinct Cartoon Network characters. You got Dexter, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls, and I guess Ed, Edd n Eddy would be the fifth one. Sure. If I had to pick a fifth one, then Ed, Edd n Eddy, probably.
And of course, like nowadays, we got Adventure Time and everything like that. But
that's all we have, though.
I know, and you and me don't even care for Adventure Time that much.
Exactly. So. Anyway, so it's one of the best things. Speaking of, you spoke of highs and lows previously. I think that was Dexter's biggest strength, is that when in her performance of Dexter, the best thing about it was like she had these long operatic monologues that she would deliver. Again, it's the absurdest thing you've ever heard. Again, I love.
Is there footage of her in the recording booth with this? Because I really want to see it.
I would hope so, and I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't any on there. But that Cartoon Network, and much like Nickelodeon, was a little foolish with their DVD releases and bonus features. And stuff. So.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So it's kind of as much as I want to say yes, well, of course it would be. There's a chance it may not be around. But you know, there is somebody. There's the rumor about someone who videotaped. Or at least taped the recording of the Powerpuff Girls bloopers where they would curse up a storm and say the dirtiest things imaginable.
That's awesome.
So some guy actually has that who was in the recording booth. The question is whenever he's going to put it up or whatnot.
And I just discovered Tara Strong's Twitter, and yeah, I can totally picture that.
Oh, yes. But again,
she's got a raunchy sense of humor.
She does. But again, the best thing about Dexter, he had he took everything so seriously. When he could rile up, it would be like the most well-written operatic monologue, and yet it would have these highs and lows of like, you know, just the most absurd. Like he would ramp himself up so much, yet he'd have those moments of like serious quietness that really kind of gripped you. As a kid, it would grip you like, oh man, he's really going through something here. Like the episode where he thinks he's dying really just has a case of gas. He's about to tell his parents about the lab, but then, you know, it's gas.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's hilarious. Again, just Dexter is one of the classic cartoon characters that she that she created. And one of the best things about Dexter, she really popularized, was just how great she performed this character. Was just, he embraced science and gadgetry, which really fed into my loves I have today. I love the science, I love the gadgetry.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely, and just the atmosphere of that show, and just kind of like the universe it created.
Yes, of course, yeah. And again, it's ingrained itself so much into the lexicon. Whenever you tell someone about the Showtime show, Dexter, you have to delineate that it's Dexter's Lab, the cartoon.
Exactly.
Or more so the reverse. Like you mentioned Dexter, oh, you mean the cartoon? No, it's about a serial killer named Dexter. Different. And there does exist, if you haven't seen it already, people have played around with this occasionally. Like someone did an animation of basically Dexter Morgan as a little Dexter cartoon. So I wish people would play around that a little more, because it's such a common thing. Like people have to explain to people, no, it's this one, not that one.
Right.
Again, it's just that shows you how great a show is when you're confusing it for. You're confusing such a realistic, gritty serial killer for a cartoon character in purple gloves.
Exactly.
With a high pitched voice, and it's hilarious.
And she's just got like such a rapid fire pace to it when she's performing.
Didi, get out of my laboratory!
Get out of my laboratory!
Well, so Didi, as you know. Yeah, it's great. Let's see. Let's get on the list again. So we got Oblina.
Oblina. Okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of this show, but really good character. Really kind of distinct voice. Again, kind of playing around with accents and vernaculars and whatnot.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's really hard to. One of those characters is really hard to follow up something like Dexter on the other network, where Dexter has like so much emotion and passion, which is the thing that really made that character stand out. This one was more of a passive. Christy Cavanaugh, like she, you can tell she's kind of feeding into the Chuckie Finster voice, but adding a little bit of kind of like the elements that we'd see in Dexter, of like spicing her up a bit, making her a little more foreign.
Right, exactly.
Like giving her, it's like basically it's Chuckie Finster with like foreign twangs here and there. Like it's like a fancier, like kind of like a black and white, like Cruella de Vil implement of some sort.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, just the idea was like she got to play more the straight woman in the group, so to speak. Pointing out like how silly you all are. Like, at this point, Icarus, you're going to get us in trouble, Icarus. Really a really fun performance. It always stuck in my mind. That sounds a lot like Chuckie Finster when I heard that character way back in the day. It was a fun performance, to say the least. And it's fun rewatching him nowadays and just being, that's the voice actor that Chuckie Finster, and that's funny. It's this foreign, funny sounding a straight woman in the group who would always like transform like umbrellas and stuff, and like just the weird poles that would just turn around and scare you.
She was easily my favorite design of the three monsters. That was kind of my issue with the show, is I just thought it looked ugly.
I think the character was Crunk. Is that the name of the character?
Yeah.
Which that was my favorite line she ever delivers. Like she would say, "Crunk." Not the Yzma Crunk, different.
Oh, you're bringing back my nostalgia feels now.
Yeah, that was my favorite delivery she'd ever have in every episode. Whenever she just say Crunk, it's like the way she delivered that line. The Crunk is might be my favorite design, because it's such a funny, impractical one of like he has to hold his eyes everywhere.
Right? Yeah. It's kind of like the pale man from Pan's Labyrinth, except silly.
And the thing I never really caught as a kid, but I started to realize now, like he has armpit hairs, and it's like, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we got here?
We got Babe.
She did a lot of. That's a really notable one that people know all over the place.
Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like this is one of those movies where people aren't quite as crazy about it as they were back when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't aged particularly well.
Yeah. I think Charlotte's Web just kind of like kicked the crap out of the popularity of Babe the Pig.
Right, exactly, yeah. But I don't know. I've heard that Babe Pig in the City is actually really good. Have you seen that?
I watched a bit of it way back in the day. I never watched it since, but it didn't really grab me. But maybe if I watch it again, it might. But it's just such an absurd
I don't know
concept.
where I heard it was good. I think maybe Roger Ebert gave it a 4-star review.
Of course, he gave it a 4 star.
I know. What am I?
People have sometimes accused Ebert of getting almost quote unquote payoffs for like giving good reviews to the Disney company a lot. I'm not saying this was Disney. I'm just saying he would do that for something. He give even some of the worst Disney movies good ratings.
Like what?
I'm trying to like Dinosaurs.
Oh God! Oh, that movie was terrible.
Like he would give Dinosaurs a good rating, and that was just obviously.
Oh, that movie is awful.
Exactly. So the question sometimes his credibility being questioned for that sort of stuff, but again, he was usually on the money.
For sure. I don't remember much about Babe. I haven't seen it in years. I remember when it first came out, like my grandparents were like really into it more than I was.
I remember more than Babe itself. I mean, you heard the name Babe, and like I'm going on demand. I'm looking for the Babe Ruth movie with John Goodman. I see Babe. Oh, hey, it's his is the Babe. This is just Babe, the Pig in the City. But I think the funniest thing I remember more so with Babe is just a reference to it in Freakazoid. It's when Cosgrove, they all go see basically Babe Heart. It's basically what if Babe the Pig turned to like from Braveheart.
Oh God.
And Cosgrove has the best line ever. He says, basically, you hear like really bloody things happening on the screen, like a bloody battle happening in like Babe the Pig type voice. And this Cosgrove saying, basically saying, oh, it's a little violent. Yeah, but that's one mighty cute pig. Almost like a John Ford delivery.
Anything to say about the performance?
Nothing really.
I like how she kind of incorporates kind of the pig squeal into the voice. I think that's kind of clever. It's sort of like a cross between, like you're not actually doing like animal voices or animal sounds, like Peter Weller style. I'm sorry,
Peter Weller.
What the fuck? Who's Peter Weller? Who's Peter Weller? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Frank Welker's the
Frank Welker, I'm sorry.
I'm faulty. I'm just laughing. It's so funny. I just imagine Peter Welker making animal noises. Oink, oink.
That's another movie that I never got around to seeing, so excuse me. Okay, so anyways, I like that she kind of incorporates like the general like oh, pigs kind of have an oinking quality, kind of uses that with the character, makes it a very precocious performance, very very sensitive, very quiet almost, in some ways,
really
but
humble.
Yeah, right. I honestly think the voice was probably one of the big reasons why the character was so popular when it was, when it first came out. So, not much to say, but, overall another really kind of big role that a lot of people are going to remember. Can I talk about my personal favorite?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Gosalyn. I freaking love Gosalyn.
Well, explain to the kids at home who Gosalyn is.
All right, Gosalyn is Darkwing Duck's. I believe it's his. Is it his daughter or his niece? I think it's his daughter, right?
Maybe daughter, but I want to say niece. But
you
might
say
right.
Niece?
Look, I want to say niece, but I'm not familiar. Not near.
The only reason I think it's his niece is because like Disney and the Ducks and Scrooge and the Huey, Dewey, and Louie are the nephews, so it would make sense that she would be the niece.
Because I don't remember a mother, so that's why I'm thinking maybe not.
It could very much be a daughter, though. I really want to say it's the daughter.
Yeah, look, I want to say daughter too. His son's holding me back from. But again, I have no.
You know what?
Judge Dark.
You know what?
What?
Where Wikipedia comes in handy.
Okay.
Let's see.
So meanwhile, I want to say things better.
Well, I just hold on. Adopted daughter.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, that makes sense.
We were both kind of close.
In a way, she's almost kind of the show's prototypical Robin, in a way. I love this character. This is one of my favorite. It was basically like this character and Ducky were like two of the big characters from like the late 80s that I really grabbed onto as a kid. I love Darkwing Duck. I really like got into that hardcore. When most people were watching Batman the Animated Series, I was watching Darkwing Duck. Let's put it that way. I was watching like old VHS tapes of Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, you were watching Disney Batman. I was watching actual Batman.
Let's get dangerous.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
No, but seriously, Gosalyn, she's just such a tomboy, and almost kind of like the opposite of Chuckie Finster, just in the sense that, you know, she is like super brave, always down for anything.
Usually the smartest person in the room.
Exactly, usually more competent than Darkwing is. So, you know, so I feel like she kind of like channeled that. You know, it's like she kind of took the same sort of basic elements and performance that she did with Chuckie Finster. Or, although I think that, let's see, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure, does this predate the Rugrats?
Does Darkwing Duck predate the Rugrats?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it does.
Are you sure?
But
what year do you got on Darkwing?
Actually, both came out around the same time.
I mean,
Okay.
you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of like how early the look of the Rugrats is. That's what I'm thinking of. That's
right. But then again, you have Disney doing Darkwing Duck, and you have a startup studio doing Rugrats.
Of course.
So it totally makes sense that Darkwing Duck looks a lot better.
Yeah, his Rugrats looked really rough in the beginning.
It really did.
Oh, God. It's embarrassing how rough it looked sometimes.
Hey, Monkey, if you're watching, when are you going to get to that Season 1 recap or Season 1 retrospective that you were going to do? I still want to see that. Okay, anyways, yeah, Gosalyn, like I said, I guess it's kind of interesting that these two roles were really her big break. I mean, she had two previous roles before then, which were a weird 1988, actually a Swedish animated movie called David and the Magic Pearl, where she did a voiceover. She did a dub, an English dub of the main character, David. I watched maybe 5 or 10 minutes of this. It's really out there, man. Like, I actually want to see the whole thing now. And let's see, she was on a...
Well, see, she did a lot of additional, let's kind of call it additional voiceover. Mm-hmm. Basically, she'd be like, you look at, for instance, I was watching a year or two ago, I was watching a Monsters University in theaters, and you'll notice when it gets down to the credits, you'll have just the additional voices, which a lot of our very well-known voice actors doing lots of spare voices, like Pearl from SpongeBob does a voice.
Right.
You got a bit of Tress MacNeille in there occasionally. Basically, sure. All of our big names just doing. It's a shame that they don't get enough credit, but again, it's a lot of voices, so they kind of.
Well, it's a shame that those types of people don't get the big roles.
Yeah, that's the real shame. But however, I mean, the shame is that, but it's also kind of a shame they'll get kind of clumped in just the additional voices category. But people aren't going to know all the characters. That's the logical argument there. Like bus driver, you can't always just have bus driver in there as something, you know.
Right. No, I hear you. I
mean, it's a hard thing. It's a hard snap because we want to just say we'll give all the work to the voice actors, which pretty much is the case. However, it's the issue. Sometimes when they get celebrities, they do a really good job. Sometimes. Like, again, Wreck-It Ralph, we got great actors doing the voices in that one. They did a great job with the
I was so down on the casting of Jane Lynch. And she just blew it out of the park.
Well, I could have told you Jane Lynch is going to be good. She'd just done a little bit of good voice work before that.
Oh, has she? I just she was just being shoved down my throat in Glee at the time, so I was just like, Yeah,
I mean, I've seen her in other things where she impressed me, but of course, Wreck-It Ralph was the culmination of her fantastic performance right there. That one.
Of course, but anyways, back to So she was in this weird sort of, I think it was just a special called PJ Funny Bunny is Rooty Raccoon. Yeah. But her voice acting career really started in 1991 when she did both Gosalyn and Chuckie Finster. And I really want to say that those two performances were kind of she was working with the same sort of overall, overall tone, pitch, speed, pace, for those two characters. The only difference is the inner kind of like, Chuckie is very timid, and Gosalyn is like, very outward and brave and a tomboy. So I think it's interesting that those two performances, which really kind of kind of solidified her career, were kind of like polar opposites, but so similar at the same time.
It's like she can play subtleties really well too. I mean, like
exactly, yeah.
Take the subtleties and like tweak them a little bit, and you have like a whole different voice create. Really, really good stuff from that.
Sure.
And again, speaking of the additional voices, like again, she would be tied to a lot of big projects, just being kind of like the background voices called doing a lot of what's called wall. A wall is just like the incidental conversation in the background, like, wait, who's that? What's this? Is that a new dress? Like that's kind of wall. It's all the background dialogue here. And like she'd be doing a lot of that in movies too, and there's any additional voices like mainly it's kind of stuck over from the scratch and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So like she would she was in Aladdin, but none of the notable characters.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Really, so you have to rewatch and listen for if you really wanted to find her. But I'm sure. Yeah, she's there.
She was in. She was Digger number 2 in Recess.
Yeah, Digger number 2.
That's kind of a notable character.
True. I mean, she was Digger in Recess. Also, she was Library Kid.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Library Kid actually was an interesting episode. That was the one where like there's a. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Tiki.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Library Kid was kind of almost the level of being agoraphobic almost. Basically, a kid who like stuck to the library did not embrace the show's namesake, Recess. And then they tried to get her out there, and she kind of almost had a breakdown. Pretty much, they realized, like, we like this kid, but she has to stay in here for her own good.
I am so that kid.
And here's the best part. Might be kind of a spoiler if you don't mind.
No. Go.
So basically, the really neat thing is that it was like kind of a tragic yet hopeful end to the episode. Pretty much, she went on the playground, and then she was like almost sensory overload. She experienced playtime and the fun of recess, and then she went nuts playing around on stuff to the point where it was dangerous, and then they had to get her back in the library because she couldn't handle it. And pretty much, the sad ending was like she's happy with her books and she has to be in there.
I really want to see this now. I really want to see this.
Yeah, I mean, she did a really good performance of that kid. And when you felt sorry for the kid, you felt you liked her too.
Okay, we don't have much time, so let's kind of just go rapid fire through this.
I think it's pretty much just I think that's the big brushstrokes of the acting career, unless you want to go through.
It is, but there's a couple kind of smaller ones. Hercules, the animated series, she played Alcides. Does that ring a bell at all?
It's probably one of the gods Hercules met, or one of the kids of the gods he met.
Okay, so it's not like a major character at all?
No.
Okay, you know those weird McDonald's?
Yeah, she was Birdie in one of those.
Yeah, she was Birdie. Yeah,
I remember I actually got one of those when I was a kid from McDonald's. The one that's called Birthday World, where they basically go to a rundown, a birthday day amusement park.
They were really freaking weird.
They were. They
really were. What do you think of her performance as Birdie? I don't remember.
Pretty straightforward, It was. It's been years since I watched it, so I can't really recollect it. But it sounded pretty much. To be honest with you, I don't think Birdie had a lot to do in those specials.
No, I don't think she did. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It was mostly just a Hamburglar, I think.
Yeah, Hamburglar getting the shenanigans. Character. And I'm almost certain, I'm just going off on memory here, I could be entirely wrong, but I want to say Charlie Adler was Hamburglar.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was. I'm just picturing the Birthday Land episode in my mind, and I could have sworn I heard Hamburglar as Charlie Adler.
Oh, that's wonderful if that's true. All right. Well, you're right. I think we've pretty much touched the broad strokes. There's a few other like really minor roles here and there, but
one is she's kind of like the glue and kind of the staple within the '90s animation period. So she's very integral. But let's get into some reaction to her unfortunate demise.
All right. Do you want to just how you reacted to it, or?
Well, I meant like. Well, you and I, obviously, we were caught off guard, surprised. Before we get to our actual kind of like last statement here, what do you think about the other reactions from her colleagues?
Okay, well, I have two in particular to share.
Yes, that's what. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. First, this isn't anything really too important, but Rantasmo, a contributor on That Guy with the Glasses, he wrote, "Christine Cavanaugh was about the closest thing I had to a diva as a child. This is devastating." Okay, but now on to the important ones. Tara Strong. The moment I met Christine Cavanaugh, I was starstruck and in awe. She had an eternal beauty and an unparalleled, otherworldly genius.
You've got to remember, Tara Strong was just kind of getting into the business at that point, so basically Christine Cavanaugh would have been her mentor almost.
Right, sure. And are you ready for the really tragic one?
Oh, this one's going to make me almost cry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The great E.G. Daily.
Oh, boy.
Had lots of amazing adventures with the brilliant Christine Cavanaugh, my buddy Chuckie, R.I.P. Chris. And to top it all off, there's a freaking heartbreaking picture of Tommy and Chuckie embracing each other and crying.
Well, you would better use that as
Oh, you know I will.
If you don't, I'm going to come find you and I'm going to kick you, man. Oh, my God. They came with an image?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's so heartbreaking.
Oh, that's brutal, right?
Oh, they were buddies. Oh, you know, don't look down on me for this because I mean this comment, okay? Chuckie was kind of Tommy's Commissioner Gordon. Think about it.
That's amazing, but yeah, you're right.
I mean that. I don't mean just to make the reference, because they have red hair, because Gordon usually has, now, especially nowadays, they recolored his hair to be like his younger self, which is red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, red hair and the big glasses like Gordon. You know, he's and fearful. A lot of bad things happening to him. That's pretty much Commissioner Gordon, but for Tommy. Sad, but true.
Wow. All he needed was like a little pencil mustache and all grown up.
Well, remember his father. His father had a mustache. And,
that's true. That's true.
And then there's that episode where he and Tommy, this episode, they dream about being grown-ups, and basically it's their baby heads on grown-up bodies that are their fathers.
Oh my God, you're on to something.
And you know, he had a chocolate milk mustache like his father.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, so I think that's kind of a nice comedic note to end this on.
Well, yeah.
Any last words?
Well, yeah, exactly. So you want to go first?
Last words. Well, I think you put it best. Yeah, she was definitely she wasn't one of the most prolific actresses out there, in terms of, she only worked for a limited number of time, only did a limited number of really iconic roles, but what she brought, the energy that she brought, and just the unique quality to her voice, the passion she would put into the roles, it can't be duplicated. It's something that is going to be cherished by 90s children the world over, and we thank her for that, and may she rest in peace.
Yes, well, two things. Just one, I mean, from 1988 to 2001, I mean, she left on a high note. I mean, such a body of work within just almost a decade or so of a little over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, molding all together of work, and she accomplished so much. That's very impressive. I mean, she went on a high note, we all kind of hope we do, and it's such a tragic shame that actresses and actors, voice or no, that can achieve that much and have that much talent and do that much good shouldn't die this young. I mean, 51 is very young comparatively. That's easily the most tragic part of this whole thing. We have people living to their Bob Hastings lived to his 90s. We have people living to that. I mean, that is, and someone like Christine Cavanaugh passing away at 51. That's no justice whatsoever.
That's what crushed me about it.
Yes, all these great people are dying. So don't get me wrong. The people who lived full lives, and great for them. It's always going to be a shame when they leave us. But even the people leaving us younger, it's even greater a shame because they achieved so much within that period. We want to see what they're going to do next, and we're deprived of that, and they're deprived of living kind of almost the retirement days that they so rightfully deserve. It's a shame. But then my actual kind of final words here for Christine Cavanaugh specifically. Just to put it simply, she provided us hours of entertainment for years. You and I and everybody, provided us hours of entertainment for years, even to this day. Us rewatching it, and everyone rewatching these grand episodes, and she'll continue to touch lives all over. People discovering the old cartoons, people old or even old people showing them to their kids and their grandkids of the old cartoons, definitely. And they're going to be able to re-experience the feel that she gave them. With these iconic characters, these beloved characters, and that's a gift of being a voice actor, creating any character, is that it's going to be revisited for generations and generations. The Rugrat generation of the next 20 years, the next more than 20 years, hopefully, depending on whatever it's going to be, like a little thumb drive, a little tiny disc in your watch. Who knows? And people are going to be watching the Rugrats, and they're going to be saying, "Oh man, that's Chuckie Finster, or Dexter's Lab, or Ablina, or sorry, the one with from Darkwing Duck, Gosalyn." They're going to be re-experiencing these things for years and eons, and it's just she had such an important thumbprint on the animated universe from the 90s. She defined the 90s. She was the glue of the 90s, and she's a staple of the 90s, and she will never be forgotten, least of all by you or me or any of the people that have seen her work, and we thank her profusely. Christine Cavanaugh, if you're out there, just thank you so much for kind of giving us a good childhood and giving the future generations a good childhood. You won't be forgotten. You'll be remembered always. Rest in peace. You've deserved it, kid. You've deserved it.
All right, well said, my friend. Well, I guess we'll see you guys later. Hopefully next time under happier circumstances. But yes, may Christine Cavanaugh rest in peace, and may her body of work continue to inspire generations upon generations. All right, see you guys later.
See ya.